Hello, friends. I'm Suzanne Culberg. This is the Nope Coach podcast. Welcome to episode 251. You're not doing it wrong. I believe the biggest confidence killer is someone saying you're doing it wrong. And the two places I see this more than anything else, number one is in parenting, and number two is entrepreneurship. When you are new at something, like when you're new at parenting, and it's funny, when you're pregnant, there is so much support available. There is, prenatal, there's visits, there's classes, there's appointments, there's preparation. So much goes into preparing you for having a baby. Then after the birth, it's like, see you later, you're on your own. And there's no shortage of people telling you that you're doing it wrong. You're dressing them wrong. They're too hot. They're too cold. You're feeding them wrong. You're burping them wrong. You're changing them wrong. And at a time where you're most likely sleep deprived, exhausted, and perhaps physically recovering, depending on the birth that you had, there's nothing more zapping and confidence killing than being told you're doing it wrong. The same in business, especially a new business or a new idea, a new venture, a new concept, a new thing that you're exploring. There is never an end to people telling you you're doing it wrong. I'm tempted to start screenshotting and do a whole episode on the feedback I get about how I'm doing this podcast wrong. A couple of times a week, I shit you not, I'll get an email titled, "You're leaving money on the table," or errors on your YouTube, or it's just so many things. I had one this morning, and I have analyzed your channel, and here is how you could improve. Did I ask you? There's nothing more annoying than unsolicited, unwarranted advice. You don't know what a person's goal is. You don't know what they're focusing on. You don't even know what they're doing it for. So how can they be doing it wrong? And are they really doing it wrong, or are you just trying to sell them something? So let me make you feel shit about yourself so that you give me money. It's like, am I leaving money on the table, or am I just not putting it in your pocket? So think of, something, and, you might want to pause this recording, or, ponder it later. Where's something in life that you have wanted to do, but you've held yourself back from even starting because of fear of doing it wrong? Or you started to dabble and you were told you're doing it wrong. It doesn't need to be business or parenting. It could be a hobby. It could be a skill. It could be painting or dancing or singing, or, you don't have the body for that, or you don't have the voice for that, or you've got a face for radio, or, people's sometimes unintentional, but, sometimes the barbs that hold us back from doing things. And that's their opinion. And often it has very little, if anything, to do with you, but they feel threatened by you going after what you want to. So they're giving you the reason they're not going after it. Like, oh, I could, yeah. Some of the things I've been told in the past that, I can't do because I have an accent, or because I'm a woman, or because I'm too heavy, or I'm too young, or I'm too old, or I'm too inexperienced. And it's just like, really? Seriously? If you don't want to listen to me sing or watch my videos or whatever, then don't. But don't tell me I'm doing it wrong. We might have different tastes and different things we want to go to. I'm just thinking, sometimes you go to something, like my husband and I yesterday watched, is it Renshaw? That movie with Nicolas Cage, and he's Dracula and something. And we got to the end of it and he was like, "That was amazing." And I was like, "That's an hour and a half of my life I won't get back." The movie wasn't wrong. They didn't do it wrong. I could have chosen to turn it off, or I could have chosen to say, actually, I want to do something else. I'm the one who sat through it. But, sometimes people are quick to externalize their judgment or give you feedback that you didn't ask for or is unhelpful. And it's always worth asking yourself, what's their motivation? These people who email me saying you're leaving money on the table, or there's errors. Like, what a way to start a relationship. "Hi, dear sir, madam, there's errors on your page and I have analyzed them." I don't know about you, but that's a no from me. If somebody sent me a genuine message, hi Suzanne, love your wacky t-shirts, listen to a few of your episodes, are you open to having a chat because I work in YouTube optimization? You may have my attention. But, starting with uninvited, unsolicited, and basically not very nice feedback is not a way to start a relationship. And for somebody who is starting out or who's new and they're just doing the thing and they're feeling like publishing that first video was a big step, and to them to receive a barrage of messages of here's how you're doing it wrong could be enough to stop them before they even start. And if that's you in whatever you've wanted to do, I really encourage you, how can you do it now? If you've wanted to go to a dance class, but you've been told you don't have the body, or you've got 2 left feet, or you're uncoordinated, can you Google, adult dance classes? Or, well, that could potentially go bad. Maybe don't Google that. But, could you find some way that you could dabble in the thing that you've always wanted to do and literally have your hands on your ears, la, 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 to the people who are going to have opinions and tell you that you're doing it wrong? If you wanted to dress in a certain way, if you've wanted to go to a certain place, oh, don't go there. It's terrible. It used to be good, but it's not worth going to now. Well, that might have been your experience, but I'm open to having a different one. I absolutely love cruising. It's my favorite way to holiday. And I've got my first cruise since COVID coming up in less than 2 months now. And people have been like, oh, why would you want to go on a ship full of germs or like all these things? It's like, well, that might be your experience, but it's not mine. I absolutely love going to sleep at night, waking up in a new port, unpacking once, staying on the ship if the port doesn't interest me. Like, I think that's fabulous, and I have the best time. And even if we don't get into port because of weather, or you could get stuck in a cyclone, you get thrown around. Yeah, that's happened. But life's what you make it. And I've got my Kindle. I've got my charger, so if the Kindle runs out, when I go on holiday, I have a good time. It's not weather dependent or all these sorts of things. You're not doing it wrong. If it's the call of your heart, if it lights you up, if you enjoy it, that's all that matters. If you're only doing the thing like for number of sales or getting a gold medal or having somebody acknowledge you, maybe the reason you're doing it is wrong. Because when I committed to doing this podcast every day for a year, I didn't have an income goal or a sales goal or anything in mind like that. Like, it'd be nice. And people have found me, connected with me, worked with me as a result of this podcast. And I hope that continues going forward. But who do I become by showing up every day, by recording something every day, by putting myself in the places where sometimes it's hard. Sometimes I've had hard days, I've had little sleep, I've been sad, I've been, there's been hard times, there's been positive times, there's been all the things. And I trust that if you enjoy the episodes, you'll keep listening. And if you don't, you won't. But sometimes people tell me, oh, daily podcast is doing it wrong because they're getting behind. I'm like, what do you mean you're getting behind? You don't need to listen to every single one. Oh, you're doing it wrong because you don't have show notes. I don't know what the episode's about. There's a really good way to find out what the episode's about. You press play. And if you start listening and you don't like it, you can press stop. Like, I knew what that Renfield movie was about, the Familiar for Dracula. I'd read the description, still didn't mean I liked the movie. So if doing these things, if writing show notes and publishing once a week, if that feels good for you, do that. If publishing every day and just turning up and talking about whatever feels good, do that. But follow the call of your heart, and you can't do it wrong. You're not doing it wrong if you enjoy it, if it lights you up, if it's filling some cup and need for you, then it doesn't matter what other people think. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Suzanne Culberg, and yeah, I really would love to hear what you've got from this episode. If you're watching on YouTube, you can pop a comment below. Please subscribe. If you've got friends who you think might benefit from it, share the episode up with them. If you're not on YouTube, if you're listening on, podcast, Apple, Spotify, whatever, go to my website, suzanneculberg.com, go over to the contact page. You'll be entertained, I promise. Well, I can't ever promise, but it's likely that you'll be entertained by my contact page. Send me a message. Let me know what you think. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.